Alright, so this one you should be watching Wednesday night. We're going to test this afternoon. But you're watching this one Wednesday night in preparation for what we're about to start. The new section we're starting is all about probability. It is a mathematical study of what's going to happen. Okay? So your student expectation is that students will investigate probability with dice and coins. So a little background on probability. Probability is the likelihood that an event will occur. Like when we flip a coin, we either get heads or tails. Now, before we ever flip a coin, we say that we have a 50-50 chance. But after we flip a coin, well, things change. Just because we have a 50-50 chance doesn't mean we'll get one heads and one tails if we flip a coin twice. So, with that in mind, I want your HLQ. I want you to flip a coin 10 times and record what you see. T for tails, H for heads. So we're going to do this. We're going to use this Batman DVD. So we'll call this tails, we'll call this heads. So if I flip this over, it's flipping through the air, and it lands here, I'm going to write down a T. If I flip, and it lands there, I'm going to write heads. So I'm going to flip this onto the page, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so first one, I flipped, I would put an H, okay? And all I would do is continue. I'd take it, and I'm going to flip it again. Hey, I got heads again, okay? So I'd continue to do that 10 times. Okay, I just want you to see what could happen. Because if it's even, then we get 5 and 5. But that may not be the case. So example 1 is actually the only example we're going to have. We're going to have several questions with example 1. But the concept is that we have this dice. Okay? And this dice, if it's normal, okay, it has 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right now you can't see 2, 4, 6. Okay, so our first question is, if you have a normal dice, what are the odds of rolling a 1? Well, let me ask you a question. How many 1s are on this dice? Okay, you should have said, well, coach, if it's a normal dice, there's only 1 1. And I'd say, hey, you're exactly right. There's only 1 1. Okay? So there is 1 1. But how many sides are there on this dice? Well, you have a top and a bottom. You have a left and a right. You have a front and a back. So if you have top, bottom, left, right, front, back, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 possible sides. So when we look at this, the odds of us rolling a 1 are one side out of 6. Now we can write this as 1 over 6 as a fraction, or we can say it is 1 to 6, or we can say it's 1 out of 6. It's 1 out of 6 possibilities. Now we can also write this as a percentage, which is usually the way we like to go, which in this case we'd have to put our numerator into the house and divide by our denominator. Alright? Let's look at what our odds would be if we were trying to roll a 2 or a 4. Okay. Well, a 2 or a 4 means we're going to use one side for 2, one side for 4. So we have 2 sides that we're okay with getting as our answers. And again, it's out of 6 total. So our odds are 2 out of 6, or if we reduce this, it's 1 out of 3. Okay. Well, let's talk about what the odds of rolling an odd number would be. If you're rolling an odd number, well, let's see, what is an odd number? Well, an odd number is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, or I'm sorry, 9, 11, 13. Those are odd numbers. Well, if we're looking at a dice, we have the numbers 1, 3, and 5 that are all odd dice. Well, that's 3 of them. 3 out of, again, there's a total of 6. So I have 3 possible outcomes that we're okay with out of 6. So it's 3 out of 6, or it's 1 out of 2, actually. For every 2 sides of the dice, there's 1 side that we're okay with getting as an answer. Alright? Well, we go down to our last one. It's what are the odds of rolling a 1, a 4, or a 6? Alright, well, a 1, 4, or 6, it's still just 3 sides, and it's 3 out of 6, or 1 chance out of every 2 sides. So here's some important things to think about. Okay, when we write this as a fraction, it's the outcomes desired, or it's the things we want, over all possible outcomes. So, when we're writing this as a fraction, keep this in mind. It's outcomes desired over all possible outcomes, over anything that could happen. Alright, come to class ready to think, and I'll see you Thursday.